is hindering a fair distribution of wealth in Africa. President Tinubu spoke on Tuesday while delivering his inaugural speech at the 78th United Nations General Assembly in New York, United States. The president noted that while poor governance and broken promises have negatively affected Africa, unfair treatment and outright foreign exploitation have also stunted the continent's progress. He asked foreign countries to aid by the summit theme for a mutually beneficial relationship with Africa. President Tinubu informed the Assembly that he had to remove the costly and corrupt fuel subsidy and discard a noxious exchange rate system as part of export to promote economic growth and investor trust in the country. The president asked investors to take advantage of the country's economic prospects and engage in partnership that would be beneficial to both parties. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Abubakar Atiku, has filed an appeal at the Supreme Court seeking nullification of the judgment of the Presidential Election Petition Court, which upheld the victory of President Bola Tinubu in the 2023 polls. The 500 tribunal led by Justice Aruna Nsemani had, in a judgment delivered on September 6, dismissed petition filed by Abubakar and the PDP Peter Obi and the Labour Party and the Allied People's Movement for lacking in merit. In the notice of appeal filed on 35 grounds, Atiku insisted that the tribunal committed a grave error and miscarriage of justice in its finding and conclusion in its petition. The notice of appeal is also praying the apex court to set aside the old findings and conclusion of the tribunal on the grounds that they did not present the true picture of the grounds of the petition. Similarly, the president candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has filed 51 grounds of appeal before the Supreme Court over the judgment of the Presidential Election Petition Court. In his notice of appeal, Obi said the court erred in law and thereby reached a wrong conclusion when it dismissed the petition he lodged to challenge the outcome of the presidential election. He faulted the tribunal for dismissing his case on the premise that he did not specify the figures of votes or scores that were allegedly suppressed of inflated in favor of President Tinubu, while accusing the lower court of breaching his right to fair hearing. Obi insisted that evidence of his witness were wrongly dismissed as incompetent. Away from the legal matters, former President Olusegun Obasanjo says the rising case of military coups in Africa shows that young people are in search of liberators. Recently, there have been waves of military intervention with 7 coups across Africa in the last 2 years, with the latest happening in Gabon on August 30, Niger, Burkina Faso, Sudan, Guinea, and Mali. Speaking at Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library in Abeokuta, Ogun State, during an interactive session with a group of youth, the former president said he would not support a coup considering his experience in the hands of former military dictator, late General Sani Abacha. He, however, noted that certain conditions have been encouraging military takeovers across the continent, while calling for the entrenchment of true democratic principles as a way of discouraging coups in the continent. Obasanjo urged African youth to brace up and take leadership position today and not tomorrow, which may never come. The Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC, has given the federal government another week to act on its demand of risk and industrial action, just as the Nigeria Labour Congress has also threatened. Briefing journalists in Abuja on Tuesday after a closed-door meeting with the Minister of Labour and Employment, Simeon Lalong, TUC President Festus Osifu said the Congress was tired of holding endless meetings and wanted definite pronouncement from President Bola Tinubu on its demand. He also clarified what seems to be the fission between the NLC and the TUC, maintaining that there were no cracks in the ranks. The Labour Minister of his part assured the union that the federal government was making effort to address their concern, urging them to exercise patience. In Ogun State, Governor Dapo Abiodun is proposing death penalty for anyone caught engaging in cult activities as a way of stemming the rising cases of cultism in the state. Governor Abiodun made this known on Tuesday at a meeting with the paramount ruler of Remoland, Oba Babatunde Ajayi, and his chief at the Akarigbo Palace in Shagam. He expressed shock at the wanton destruction of lives and peace of Shagamu and its environment, even as he warned that the government would not fold its hand and watch unscrupulous person run riot in any part of the state. The governor said that henceforth he would not entertain any sentiment from any quarter as the activities of the hoodlums were capable of sabotaging government efforts to bring more development to the state. Akarigbo Remoland Oba Babatunde Ajayi decried the incessant destruction of lives and properties in the town, saying the needed development would not come to the time when people continue to cause havoc through criminal activities. You are listening to the world news on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Still to come, business, foreign and sports. Welcome back to the rest of the news. In business and economy news, the nation was on Tuesday thrown into darkness as the nation grid suffered another system collapse. The development comes 5 days after a previous grid collapse, which was restored in less than 24 hours. According to a notice by the Eco Electricity Distribution Company, the system collapsed at around 11:31 in the morning. The frame self-development caused a total loss of supply across its network. On the foreign scene, U.S. President Joe Biden has appealed to the United Nations to stop Russian naked aggression in Ukraine to deter another would-be aggressors. Addressing the UN General Assembly in New York on Tuesday, President Biden warned that other countries would be at risk if the world tried to appease Russia. President Biden added that the United States and its allies would continue to stand with the brave people of Ukraine as they try to expel Russian forces from their country. The meeting was attended by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, but Russian President Vladimir Putin was absent. Australian police have arrested almost 1,000 people in a major crackdown on illicit drugs and organized crime. Police said on Tuesday more than 2,000 charges had been laid, 990 people arrested, and 1.2 tons of drugs seized in the week-long operation across the country involving police from all jurisdictions. Police carried out more than 400 raids across the country, seizing drugs with a street value estimated at $309 million. Finally, in the world of sports, Manchester City began the defense of the UEFA Champions League title with a 3-1 comeback win over Red Star Belgrade at the Etihad Stadium on Tuesday. 2 goals from Julio Alvarez and another goal from Rodri, and the second half ensured that the English champion picked up a maximum point on the day 1 of the fixture. Red Star Belgrade has taken the lead on the stroke of halftime against the run of play through Osman Bukhari. Elsewhere, Super Eagles Zaidu Sanusi played the first 35 minutes in FC Porto 3-1 win at Shakhtar Donetsk. The Nigerian duo of Al-Hassan Yusuf and George Ilekenai were second half substituted in Royal Antwerp 5-0 thrashing at Barcelona. Samuel Chikwueze played an hour of AC Milan goalless draw at home to Newcastle United. Other results are Paris Saint-Germain 2, Borussia Dortmund 0, Young Boys 1, RB Leipzig 3, Lazio and Atletico played a 1-1 draw. To end the world news on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio, the recaps of the major stories. President Tinubu addresses United Nations General Assembly, says foreign exploitation stunting equitable distribution of wealth in Africa. Governor Abiodun proposes death penalty for cultists. In business, national grid collapses. GR the second time in less than a week. On the promising, President Biden urged the United States to stop Russia's naked aggression in Ukraine. In sport, Manchester City Barcelona in comfortable win as UEFA Champions League begins. This is the world news on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. For more news and updates, you can follow us on our social media. On Facebook, www.facebook.com/Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. On X platform at Al-Iyamoye_TV. And on Instagram, Al-IyamoyeTV, Al-IyamoyeTV. You can also stream live by logging to our website at www.aliyamoyetv.com or listening via our Radio Garden app. You're just listening to the world news on Al-IyamoyeTV and radio. I am Ibrahim Onigbinde. Thank you for listening.